This is crazy. Get off, Bubba. Get off. Get off her head. Come on, get off her head. What's your name, honey? No, come on. Chill. Get off. Come on, y'all got chill. I don't want to get hit. Can y'all watch her? Can you grab her, please? Her hair, please. Grant. Let go of her hair. Speed it, don't. Yo, come on. Let go. Honey, that's your name, right? Come on, just chill. Yes. Let go off of her. No, I thought it was my sister. Wait. Somebody in there. Sister, I got it. I'm good. Wait. Get her. Wow.
YouTube, how's it going? This is EphraimCPA, and today we're going to be talking about everything that's been happening at Steak 48 recently. So for those of you who aren't in tune with what's going on, there's been a couple Steak 48 locations that have made some changes. The location in Chicago and in Philadelphia. For those who don't know what Steak 48 is, it's a trendy steakhouse that's pretty popular, and they're in a lot of major cities, and they have a huge following. If you go on Instagram or any of these social media sites and you type in the hashtag Steak 48, you'll see that a lot of people like to go there. You know, they like to dress up, look nice to go there, and they take a picture in front of the logo on the outside of the restaurant. But it's a pretty popular restaurant amongst a lot of millennials and even, you know, people in their 40s, right? And recently some things happened. They made some changes to a lot of stuff that's going on in their restaurant. And I'm gonna actually read one of the changes that is pretty major that they made. And I wanna know everybody's feedback and comments in the comment section of this video. But Steak 48, in this thing that I'm reading, they have a $100 per person food and beverage minimum. So there is a $100 per person food and beverage minimum for each person at your table in order to ensure that each guest enjoys the total experience of food, service, and atmosphere. This does not include tax or tip. So how do y'all feel about this $100 minimum that they've put into place to eat at their restaurant? A lot of people are saying that it's because of a recent fight that happened in the Philadelphia location. You know, you saw that at the beginning of this video. Things are getting out of hand, and what I really want to know is, what do you think from a perspective of, let's say you were Steak 48's restaurant owner, you were the owner of the restaurants. How do you feel, like what would you do if you were in this situation? Would you make changes to who can come in and how they're dressed? You know, since you are an upscale, you know, you're trying to promote an upscale environment, right? So would you make changes to the attire, and not only the attire, but also the spending minimum in order for you to come dine at your restaurant? You know, a lot of people are saying that this is discriminatory. Some people have even said it's racial profiling. You know, so there's a lot of different opinions. I made a post about this on my Instagram page and on my Facebook page. If you're not following me, my Instagram is @EphraimCPA. Check me out, follow. But I made a post about this a few days ago that had a lot of responses, and it was mixed. A lot of people were against it. A lot of people were saying that they're never gonna go eat at Steak 48 again. And then you had a lot of people that were saying that, you know, they understand and they want there to be, they want a dress code to be put in place. You know, some people were saying that people were showing up in lingerie. They were showing up in pretty much little to no clothing. You know, so there had to be some kind of rules put into place. As a matter of fact, since we're speaking about the dress code, let me read to you the dress code that they've put in place. No sweatsuits or workout attire, which includes running/gym shorts, sports bras, heavy weighted hooded sweatshirts, or yoga workout pants. They've made a few exceptions to this. Exception number 1, dry fit. Polo style shirts with a collar are allowed. Exception number 2, non-athletic material shorts are allowed for men and women and must come down to mid-thigh or have at least a 5-inch leg. Exception number 3, sweatshirts without a hood and that only contain one small logo are allowed. So here's some more things that they've disallowed. Sweatshirts or t-shirts with large images, screen printing, or large logos, large writing, or characters. Men's tank tops or sleeveless shirts. They don't want you showing off your muscles, your arms and everything. Exposed undergarments. So some more things that are being disallowed. Bustier tops, corset tops, bandeau tops, or tube tops, unless each is worn under a waist-length jacket. Any clothing that is excessively revealing and shows an overly bare midriff or excessive cleavage. Any clothing with language or graphics that are vulgar or sexually explicit. Excessively frayed or torn clothing. Clothing emitting offensive odors such as excessive perfume, cologne, tobacco, and or marijuana odors. All hats for gentlemen guests. So that means if you're a man, you can't wear a hat, period. Ball cap style hats for women. Bandanas worn as headwear and footwear is required, but there are no restrictions on the type of footwear worn. So these are some changes that have been made to the attire just for you to even come into Steak 48 and have a sit down and eat food in the establishment. My opinion, I mean, I see both sides. You know, if I'm a restaurant owner and I have a vision for how I want my restaurant to be, I don't feel that people should disallow me from wanting to carry out my vision. On the other hand, without people coming to patronize you, you have no restaurant, right? So all the money that you've put into this restaurant, that you've invested into the restaurant to really make it, to really carry out the vision that you have, doesn't mean anything if people aren't coming in to eat, if they're not ordering food from you, right? So one of the big complaints that a lot of people were saying is that people were coming to Steak 48 and they were ordering appetizers or, you know, very cheap meals, and they weren't really spending much money. And a lot of times they were doing that just so that they can take a picture by the Steak 48 logo on the outside of the restaurant, right? So, you know, if I'm a restaurant owner, you want everybody that's coming in, you want them to spend money with you, right? But you're trying to maximize everybody that's sitting down and how much money can I make from each person that sits down in my establishment, right? Because the more money that they're spending on food and drinks, the more money we make as a restaurant, the more money that my servers will end up being tipped, right? Because the tips normally are based off a percentage of the total meal, right? So without the money being made, the restaurant can't really move forward and carry out the goals that they want, right? So I can see how, you know, being a restaurant owner, you want to make as much money as possible. But then the other side is you are considerably discriminating, right? A lot of people say that Steak 48 is discriminating against their patrons, right? You gotta also look at the side of your customers, right? Making sure that your customers have a great experience, obviously. Making sure that they feel comfortable eating at your establishment. Making sure that they wanna come back and want to patronize you over and over and over. Now, another thing is, what about the people who are spending the money and who wants to be in an environment that they want to be able to bring their family, or they want to just have a really good time and not feel like they're surrounded by a lot of craziness going on, right? Like, imagine you're eating at Steak 48 and then a fight breaks out to the next of you, right? Now, fights happen, things happen, right? You can't really say that based upon someone's dress code or how much someone is spending at your restaurant, that means that they're going to fight, or that means that they're going to degrade what you've built up as a restaurant, you know? So it's a really touchy subject. It's a really interesting subject. A lot of people are talking about it right now, and it has a lot of people in a frenzy. A lot of people are angry at essentially what's going on with Steak 48. Like I was saying earlier, a lot of people have said that they don't plan on going back. And Steak 48 made it very clear on Instagram. They said that this only applies to the Chicago and Philadelphia locations. So that means for people like myself that are in Houston, if you were to go to Steak 48, this dress code and this spending minimum does not apply to the Houston location, and obviously everywhere else that there's a Steak 48. But with that being said, even if you are in a city that these restrictions are not happening in, are you still going to go eat at Steak 48 even after hearing what's going on in Philadelphia and Chicago. Let me know in the comment section, you know. But that's all I have today. I really just wanted to make this video because I wanted to get everybody's opinion on this. And I want to know what you think. So make sure, you know, you like, comment, subscribe, leave a comment in the comment section, and let's really discuss this out. Let's talk about this, because what I like to do is I like to step back and look at it from a business owner perspective, right? If I was the owner of Steak 48, how would I want my establishment ran? But then also, as business owners, we have to look at it from the customer perspective as well, right? Because with no customers, we have no business. We can't move forward and grow and scale without people patronizing us, you know, so we have to remember that. I'm EphraimCPA, I'm signing out, and I'll talk to y'all soon.